Hello, I'm Andy, and in this video I want to share or guide you through the Japanese boom. So this is the shrine boom I'm usually going for with Japan, and yeah, this boom is among the strongest land booms in the entire game. It keeps up with Dutch, British, and Sweden, so it is very strong if it's untouched, and that's why it's standard and why it was or why it still is a decent build order today. So for the build order, we are gathering all our wood with our villagers. Then we are immediately setting down our consulate. The idea is we want to get a Portuguese ally, and with the Portuguese ally, our AgeUp only costs 680 food, and our shrines also only cost 107 wood. This means and we want to take advantage of that. So we also, because we only have 300 wood, we need to chop some wood, so you don't want to chop more than 7, but yeah, so you want to chop 7 wood, and then you want to build a shrine. So you need to be a bit quick with the consulate, otherwise you are housed. So you usually need 2 in the consulate to not get housed. But if you're late, you can also send 3 in the consulate, or you can chop a bit more wood and just plant the shrine for 125 wood. It's not too bad, but it's just something to keep in mind. Other than that, in the H1 we want to get as many livestock as possible. So in this case I want to get the llamas, and we want to get wood treasures and food treasures. Once we have our first shrine, I think food treasures are more important. So we get an earlier AgeUp, and this means we are so this means we earlier AgeUp means we get earlier H2 shipment, so earlier 600 wood. So I'm just going to speed this up for the moment. And yeah, wood means we can get a few more shrines in H1. And yeah, it helps us overall. Wood is very important for Japanese, so wood shrines are also very good. Experience is not that important. We are sending Heavenly Kami, but we are not using it in H1 really anyway, so it doesn't matter if we are getting it a bit earlier or a bit later. So it's good, but it's not high priority. So we want to get food mainly and wood treasures. Okay, so then as AgeUp, if we can get away with playing more economic, we play the AgeUp with the Toshugo Shrine. Toshugo Shrine means we have 4 more villagers once we have 20 shrines. And yeah, if we are playing against an aggressive civilization like Russia or something, then the Torii Gates also helps us because we are getting a lot more shipments. So that might also be a decent choice that's a decent choice in aggressive matchups. So we can keep up with the enemy. But in this case, we are going for the Toshugo Shrine because we are playing against China. China is known for going fast fortress, and that's what I'm anticipating. So I didn't spot any blockhouse from the consulate or something. So I was 80% sure, or forward villagers for a village. So I was 80% sure that he's going for a fast fortress. And this means I'm just going to boom as much as possible in H2. This means I'm getting shrines usually at this point. You chop in transition, so you send all except 4 to 5 villagers who stay on food, so you can sustain villager production during AgeUp on wood. And then you build up barracks if you're feeling the pressure, or if you want to get some units out to maybe harass the enemy. But in this case, I figured, okay, he's going for FF, so I boom as much as I can, as I possibly get away with. I get a market instead of a barracks. I get a lot of shrines. First, before I build my military buildings, I get 4 villagers, and this means I do have a pretty potent boom going, and I'm preparing basically. I'm waiting for his age 3, so his fortress age, and in his fortress age I will stick in commerce age for the moment and just get as many units out as possible to deny his push, basically, because you cannot go for a boom and for a FF that usually doesn't work, so you have to defend in commerce age. It's not too bad with Japan anyway. I don't think they have the greatest age 3 units or shipments anyway, so just going Ashi Nagi is perfectly fine to do here. Maybe if I have so for cards, I usually start with Heavenly Kami. Second card is will always be my 600 wood to get more shrines, to get a market, and yeah. And then it depends on what the enemy does. So if the enemy is not aggressive, then I go for the 4 villagers 2 times. And if the enemy is going aggressive, you can either go 600 coin, so you can spam out more units, or if there is danger that you are being or are you going to be idle under your TC, then you can also send the units, and with the units you should be able to stabilize. So now I'm just making ashigarus for the moment. China is known for their cavalry skirmisher unit composition, I would say. So I'm just preparing for that. I'm fully boomed at this point, so which means I can spam from 2 barracks and 1 stable. And yeah, this means I have a very good economy. My economy is way better than his. It's also not timed. His economy is basically his AgeUp and his more powerful shipments, and my economy are the shrines. And the shrines will continue to provide value while his economy will eventually run off. So I'm just trying to delay. I mean, I'm not too bothered with him destroying a few shrines. It is expected to lose a few shrines, so if you lose like 5 shrines, don't overextend and suicide all your army. It's not worth it usually. What you can do, you can run around the map and force and be annoying to his economy as well. So in this case, I'm using my ashigarus. They have more speed than most other infantry, so they are faster. You can run away more. So I use them to destroy or to annoy him and raid him, basically kill some villagers. In this case, I also got some skirmishers out of him. So he sent his skirmishers. My Naginatas arrived, and Naginatas, they just shred skirmishers like there's no tomorrow. So that's very good. Yeah, and at this point, I'm in a leading position. I don't think he achieved much with his FF. He wants to keep up the boom and get a TC out himself, and maybe win the long game. But at this point, I think the Japanese boom is just didn't do enough damage to me, so I can just spam from 2 barracks and get some Naginatas out, some stables. At this point, I could also age. I'm a bit hesitant of aging early. As I said, I think there's a very good threat to just die if you age. So I'm just usually playing, if I go for this heavy boom, I usually play it out in the commerce age. At this point, once I have all my shrines, I usually also transition to Dutch. You can also switch to Japanese isolation. I usually prefer Dutch just because I can get the bank wagon and the arsenal and stuff. Yeah, but the core idea of this build order is we want to boom as much as we can get away with, to not die, and then we use our extra resources to just spam the enemy to death with ashigarus, naginatas. You can also mix in some yumis if you have to, or if the enemy is going for crossbows or has a lot of musketeers, then you can also mix in yumis. and then we usually have a good game plan, or we have a good game. And yeah, the difficulty of this build order is to know when to get away with how much greed and how much basically how many, when to make units, when to send unit shipments. So there you have to experiment a bit, but the core idea of this build order is still, the foundation is still very strong. You have a very good boom, and if you survive, and if you don't lose too many shrines, not many civilizations can keep up with it. So in this case, China couldn't keep up with it, so it's just yeah. I mean, this game is over already, so I'm just finishing it here. So I have double the points, I have more units, and I do have great economy, great game, greatest economy. We've built the greatest economy ever. How would Trump say it? Okay. So basically, this is the build order. This is I think one of the standard Japanese build orders, and this video or this game showcases it. And you can have a lot of success with it if you master the fundamentals. And yeah, so thanks for watching and see you guys around. Bye bye.